Okay, so we're dealing with something often referred to as parametric equations, the idea of defining variables in terms of other variables. So for example, we have 3ax plus b equals c. They want to know, what does x equal? Well, you can't really solve a number value for x, but you can always say what x equals in terms of the other variables. So when we solve this one, what we're really doing is isolating x, but we're isolating it and defining it in terms of the other variables. So if we want x all by itself, I would subtract b from both sides. Then we have 3ax plus b minus b is gone, is equal to c minus b. Then up here, we write this, we have 3ax equals c minus b. Well, 3 times a is a number, and we want x all by itself, so we divide both sides by 3a. And that's the last step, really, but we'll see if they rewrite this differently. Divided by 3a. These cancel out, right? And x equals c minus b over 3a, which is choice 3. Okay, keep going. Here's a similar type of parametric equation. We have a plus ar equals b plus r. The value of a in terms of b and r can be expressed as, so the value of a, they want us to solve for a. They want us to isolate a. So if a plus ar equals b plus r, let's get a all by itself. How would we do that? Well, here, this is interesting. A and r, or a plus ar, right, we can't just simply add that because r, right, could be any value. We don't really know what it is, but we can factor out a as a common factor. So a times what equals a plus r. A times 1 is a, plus a times r is ar. And this equals b plus r. So now we have 1 plus r times a, and we want a all by itself. So 1 plus r is a number. Divide both sides by that number so you can isolate a. And this cancels out, and a equals b plus r over 1 plus r, which is choice number 3. So that was tricky, but you do just require some factoring. Okay, the members of the senior class of planning and dance, they use the equation, r equals p times n for determine the total receipts. What is n expressed in terms of r and p? So they want us to isolate n. N is the variable we want all by itself. The only thing we need to do to get n all by itself is divide both sides by p, right? Because p times n is r. P divided by p is 1, and n equals r divided by p, right? Which is choice 4. Okay. Solve for c in terms of a and b. That just means that they want us to isolate c. They want us to say what the value of c is in terms of the other variables. So notice we have bc, right? Oops, let me fix this. bc plus ac equals ab. So how do we isolate c? We can't just add these two. What we're going to use is the factor, right? Excuse me. What we're going to do is factor out c. C is common in both terms. Factor it out. So c times b is bc, plus c times a is ac, right? And that equals ab. So here, c times some number b plus a is ab. So get rid of b plus a. Divide both sides by b plus a. Now we can't simplify this ab over b plus a, but that wasn't our goal. I mean, we don't have to worry about that because now c is all by itself, and we define c in terms of the other variables. Okay. If ey over n plus k equals t, what is y in terms of e, n, k, and t? So they want us to isolate y over here. This looks really terrible and nasty, but just start by subtracting k from both sides. That'll help. So if we subtract k from both sides, we still have e times y over n, but we subtracted k, so that's gone on the left side. But now it equals t minus k. And the last step for me is to realize that, oh, e over n is just some number. So we can multiply both sides by n over e, or the reciprocal, just as we would if it was some fractional term like 3 times y over 2. Well, to get rid of 3 times y over 3 over 2, we multiply by the reciprocal, 2 over 3. on both sides. Same idea right here. So multiply both sides by n over e. This cancels out, and now we have y equals, I would distribute this, n times t is nt over e minus kn over e. So you might see it in some form like that. Okay, so they didn't write it in this form because both fractions have the same denominator, which means you can write nt minus kn over e equals y. Just like if you had 3/4 plus 5/4, you don't have to write these separately. You can write it as 3 plus 5 over 4, or 8/4. Here, though, they don't accept this answer either, right? Because they want you to factor. The common factor in the numerator is n. It's n times t and k times n. Pull that out. N times t is nt minus k, because n times k is kn. That's over e equals y. That's our factored form, which we can see here in choice number 4. Okay, keep going here. So here, we want to isolate x, right? Then what does x equal? Well, so we're going to break this apart. S equals 2x plus t over r. I would multiply both sides by r to get rid of that denominator. Just like I would with numbers. So rs equals 2x plus t. We're almost done. Rs equals 2x plus t. So we want x all by itself. So I would subtract t from both sides. And now we get rs minus t, whatever that is, exactly, we don't know. T minus t is 0 equals 2x. Last step. So rs minus t equals 2x. Okay, divide both sides by 2, because 2x equals this. Okay, divide by 2. And x equals rs minus t over 2. Let's see if they have that. There it is. Rs minus t over 2. Okay, let's keep going. If k equals a, write this out right here for you to see, k equals am plus 3mx, the value of m in terms of ak and x can be expressed as, so when they say that, the value of m, they want you to isolate m. And here it is in both terms. As soon as you see that variable in both terms, factor it out. So it's m times a plus 3x. All I'm doing there is saying m times a is am, m times 3x is 3mx, and now I'm almost done. M times this number is k. So to find what m is, I'm going to divide both sides by this whole number, a plus 3x. Okay, a plus 3x. This cancels out, and now we have our answer. M is equal to what? K divided by a plus 3x, which is choice number 1. Alright. The formula for the perimeter of the rectangle is perimeter equals twice the length plus twice the width. Then w can be expressed as, so can we isolate w? Well, I would subtract 2l from both sides. Get w all by itself. This cancels out. P minus 2l equals 2w. I don't want to know what 2w is. I want to know what w is. So I divide both sides by 2. Right, I half that. So P minus 2l, right, this is our, I think, our final expression, over 2 equals w. So P minus 2l over 2 is w, or choice 2. Alright, hope this helped.